Welcome to Richard and Greg, a channel dedicated to discussion, debate and argument on a whole array of topics. With just 4 weeks to go, the Brexit negotiations, the final Brexit negotiations, are not as yet agreed. And we ask Greg, what is likely to happen if a deal is not agreed, and how does he see the negotiations going in these last few weeks? We hope you enjoy that discussion. Welcome to Richard and Greg. It's Sunday, 6th of December 2020, and the time is 18:16 GMT. Brexit. Having left the European Union, we still had remaining the final negotiated talks as to the package that we would be leaving the European Union with, i.e., what trade terms we were going to have once our complete departure is over and done with on the 31st of December of this year. Those of us who've been following this path have discovered numerous twists and turns in the road, and even threats that no deal could be made. However, we're also hearing that there is some progress. So let's find out exactly what's going on. Greg, good evening.
Good evening. And it is a better evening every evening as it passes towards us leaving the European Union and fulfilling the voted wish of the majority in the largest vote in the history of British democracy, which was to leave the European Union and no longer be a vassal state within the organization run by the European Union and having its laws made by the European Union under Roman law, which I find, as did the majority, anathematic.
Okay, Greg, that's fine, but what's actually happening?
The last round of negotiations, or attempted negotiations, have been taking place over the last week. And very late in the day, realizing that Britain was not going to give way on its red lines, namely remaining under any element of control of the European Union, nor permitting the French and Spanish fleets to rape our fisheries as they have been. We are not asking for any of their assets to be freely available to us. We're not allowed to steal their coal or receive the output of their nuclear power stations free of charge. And we are insistent that we will not be providing them with access to our fisheries free of charge, whatever they wish to claim. We may be headed towards fulfilling the wishes of the British people of leaving the European Union entirely without a bespoke deal. This will be a matter of very poor taste on the part of the European Union, where after 40 odd years of membership, just because we wish no longer to be controlled by them under their laws, but wish to maintain our sovereign independence, they are not acting in good faith. And we noticed that at the very end of last week, they introduced an entire new raft of demands, presumably as politicking in order to be able to let us get away with not accepting them, but in return, having the right to rape our fisheries and command our laws and have the final say on everything. It is not going to happen. At the moment, we have had telephonic meeting because the negotiators have run out of wriggle room and have reached the end of their right and ability to negotiate. And so the principals, the senior member of the European Union and our Prime Minister have negotiated on the phone yesterday afternoon with a view to try to cut through this problem. In Britain, it is unlikely that the people or the Parliament will accept surrender of any part of our fisheries or what the European Union wishes to call a level playing field, which actually means that worse terms so that everybody's downgraded to their worst terms and their overblown laws should pertain. It just won't be accepted by the British people, and I don't believe it will be accepted by the British Parliament. It is not within the democratic remit of our government. I do not believe that today or tomorrow in the negotiations will we see a settlement, a final settlement of the terms. I think that is still 3 or 4 days hence and may well not happen. And there is no doubt whatsoever from the British point of view that what we have been saying for the last 2 years, no deal is better than a bad deal. No parliament in Britain wants a no deal. It's not good for either side, but we would be able to sustain it. It would mean somewhere in the region of a 2% reduction in GDP, but it would leave us masters in our own house. And that is what the British public in the largest vote ever held in Britain voted for by a majority.
Okay, Greg, but I'm a little confused here because according to the various news headlines, we've got the chief negotiator, Lord Frost, saying one of the biggest issues to overcome are disagreements with access to UK waters by the EU fishing fleets. And then we have a former leader of the Conservative Party, Ian Duncan Smith, saying the biggest sticking point is the role of the European Court of Justice. What are the problems here?
The problems are that the British public, in the largest vote in British history, by a majority, voted to leave the European Union, not voting to adjust the degree of vassal status of Britain to the European Union. We voted to leave, and leave we will. And if we leave with no deal, no bespoke deal, we will leave on World Trade Organization terms, and no deal will pertain. So that is the case. That is what the British people voted for, to leave the European Union. Which part of that does the European Union not understand?
Okay, so if we do fall under WTO terms, what does that mean then for things like fisheries and the European Court of Justice, which has so exercised the negotiators?
It means that the European Courts of Justice will not hold sway in Britain. The British courts will. It means that our fisheries will be our fisheries, not open to random rape by rogue fishing boats from other powers. It means that we can look after and conserve fish as a natural, to be cosseted resource, not fish the waters dry. It means that we will be a sovereign, independent nation, separate from the European Union. It will then be up to the European Union how much they wish to export to us and what terms they wish to do it, and how much they wish to buy from us and what terms they wish to do that. There are plenty of other countries around the world. We don't have to take in Europe's dirty washing and swap it for ours. We can actually export to other countries and import from them. Yes, it will mean in the short term we have an element of difficulty. But at the moment, even in these difficult times, our unemployment figures are better than those of Spain. They're better than those of Greece. They're better than numerous countries in the European Union. Yes, we may find there is a rise in unemployment forced on us by the obduracy of the European Union, who are terrified that we will leave the European Union and prosper, setting an example for the obvious people who will be leaving next: Italy, Poland, and Greece, for starters. The Dutch had to alter their law to make it impossible for them to have a referendum to leave the European Union. The European Union is about as popular as a pork chop in a mosque with many countries. Hungary doesn't seem to have much time for them. Austria has great doubts. And they've never been able to persuade the Swiss to be foolish enough to surrender to vassal status. We are leaving.
But we often hear people saying WTO terms are not really that great. So would you like to just highlight the arguments as to why WTO is not that great? And why are we even negotiating at all? If WTO is so superb, as you seem to suggest, we might as well just come out and not have a deal. Why waste our time?
Hang on, Richard, I didn't for a moment say they were superb. A bespoke deal would be infinitely better. After 40 years of trading with the European Union to their advantage and ours, it is astonishing that, like a thwarted party in a divorce, they are permitting their lawyers to talk the drama up when an amicable settlement would be far more to the advantage of both parties. However, this way, the unelected bureaucrats of Europe will come out being able to pretend that they are doing well because they didn't let Britain get away with anything, and they will be able to damage Britain, thereby making it look a folly to leave the European Union, or so they believe. We have Macron, who is in such a parlous state in his own country that he has used his state enforcers, the police, to batter the entire middle class who dared to protest. It is quite astonishing. But yet he now is weenie waggling at a great rate to try and seem important, because he is desperately trying to hang on to his job, because at the moment he doesn't stand a prayer of being re-elected in his 2022 elections, because he has made himself so unpopular. But he wishes to raise his status and take over as the leading light in Europe when Merkel finally resigns, which is due next year. This will, I presume Macron thinks, put him in a better position and better chance of being re-elected. But I don't rate his chances at the moment.
Okay, so in a nutshell, will there be a deal, a bespoke deal, or won't there? And we come out under WTO.
I think that sanity will prevail in the European Union and there will be an equitable deal. But we are not handing over control of anything in Britain to the European Union.
Greg, thank you very much.
My pleasure, and good luck to us all.
We hope you enjoyed that discussion, and if so, kindly subscribe to our channel and press the bell sign so that you are notified of our videos as and when they are published. And also in the description box below, we place links to certain books, articles and programs which you may find of benefit, and for which we will receive a small commission should you purchase through our link. And this will help support our channel and to enable us to develop it further.